Hello and welcome to today's session. I hope you're all doing amazingly well from whichever part of the world you are watching. Today, I continue with the series of knowledge builders I am creating for owners of boutique hotel properties who believe in wellness and want to do wellness well. So, the first session I kicked off a couple of weeks ago is helping boutique owners understand why some of you sometimes don't even manage to get your wellness offering past the start line. And that tends to be a symptom of over researching, over analyzing, getting too many experts, consultants, peer reviews. And what ends up happening is kind of the syndrome of too many chefs ruin the broth. And that is what kind of stalls your wellness offering. And what I was trying to say in that session was that the only way you're going to perfect your wellness offering is by taking it to the market. When I say taking it to the market means letting good hundreds of thousands of your ideal guests interact with your wellness offering. So helping your teams solve their well-being related problems, seeing where the faults are and what you can do to iterate and what you can do differently. And that process of iteration is not something you can skip. It's not something you can ignore. And no matter how many experts' opinion you get, there is no way they are ever going to be able to tell you that you are going to launch your wellness concept perfect or hit it at the park the first time round. There is always going to be something to iterate. And the only way you know what to change is by actually taking that wellness offering to the market, i.e., allowing your ideal guests to interact with your wellness offering. And last week, I talked about why some boutique hotel owners, when they come to me, they're saying, so my wellness offering is missing the mark. I mean, we are nowhere near what we wanted our wellness offering to be. And that tends to be because they have followed a broken wellness model. And that broken wellness model for me means that it is spa led. You have watched other hotels create amazing spa facilities, the gym, the wellness areas, and you have kind of drawn inspiration from those areas and started your wellness offering from the spa and then added the different areas, the gym, the meditation areas, etc. But it's been very spa led. And here's the thing, your property is unique, your vision is unique, your brand is unique because your brand really essentially is an extension of your personal brand. What purpose you want to actually, why are you doing what you're doing? What is it that you want to do with your money, with your property, and who it is that you want to serve? And that will never, ever follow the traditional spa-led wellness model. In fact, that model is broken. So if you have found yourself say, so no, oh my God, I don't even know why my wellness offering is missing the mark. It's most likely because you've made your wellness offering spa-led. And today I want to talk about how designing with direction is key. So this is particularly important for those boutique hotel owners where you are building something new on your piece of land. And why is it that I insist land is incredibly important? Because where you build matters more than what you build. And with this, what I'd like to talk about is, sometimes you go to a space and you think, that was just perfect. It just felt right. And you really don't know why that space actually makes you feel amazing. And you can go to another place or another space, beautiful space, well done. You could have the best furniture properly, possible. And then suddenly you find something's missing. I don't know, there's something that's not right. And this is why I say building with land is important, because when you're talking about land, you're not talking about an asset. When I talk about the wellness asset, the actual offering, here, when we're talking about land, we're talking about a living system. And many times I see land being treated as a site, some place you put things on. You put the spa at a certain place, you put the reception on a certain area, you put the guest rooms, food and beverage outlets. You just follow a very kind of traditional layout plan that is dictated by that broken model I was talking about. But true wellness actually starts when you ask, what is this land already telling me? Whether we like it or not, we cannot ignore the land's natural energy flows. So the sun, the wind patterns, even the emotional resonance of a land. Because if you ignore that, you risk building that something that looks absolutely beautiful, but doesn't feel right. And we all know what those spaces look like. And when we are talking about wellness and hospitality, how you feel on a piece of land, how you feel in a space is incredibly important. And there is a cost of ignoring energy flow when you are thinking about construction, operational efficiency, for example. That all comes at a cost. And I have seen spas that are placed right next door to a creche or the kitchen's back of house. I've seen a gym being, shoved in the basement with no ventilation. I've also seen meditation rooms in old kind of wedding kind of conference rooms. And all these layouts may kind of tick the boxes, but what they don't do is enhance the overall well-being of your guests. And when your guests don't feel right in a specific area, no matter how superlative the experience was, when it comes to the human experience they received from your people, they will not come back. And that is why I always insist that my clients work with a land energy specialist before they're finalizing their layout, because your placement decision, so that is the entire spatial distribution, will affect everything. So, how your guests feel when they arrive, whether your wellness spaces actually feel like they're restoring, they're regenerating, how your staff are moving and interacting, irrespective of how perfect the back of house flow is, even how energy and revenue flow through your operations and your business. And when we are working, whenever I'm working with any of my boutique hotel owners, I always bring a land energy expert. And in my upcoming From Land to Legacy Spotlight, I will be talking to the land energy expert that I work with. I'll be interviewing her, and she will be sharing the common pitfalls she sees that boutique hotel owners, or in fact, any person trying to build on a piece of land, what are the challenges they encounter? And what, following ancient wisdom, so sacred geometry, principles like Vastu or Feng Shui, what that actually does for the space and your business. And also touching upon the point of building biology. Because if you're talking about enhancing people's well-being, you possibly can't be doing that if you're using building materials that are actually toxic. So when you're creating something that makes sense, something that is truly wellness driven, you have to honor the land you're building on, because your guests will feel it, your team will feel it, and you will also see the impact in your business. So, what I want us to do is just what I wanted to do is just jump on here quickly to talk about when you're building your wellness offering, your entire property. If you want to integrate wellness in a coherent way, you must respect the land on which you're building it. And you also must build with material that are true to the place you're building it. Because tomorrow, in 20 or 30 years' time, or long after we are present, these buildings are going to go back into the soil, into the earth, into the environment. And it's our responsibility to ensure that what we're building our buildings with, that material is not depleting resources, but it's actually regenerating our land, our community, and future generations. Because that is what true well-being is about. And you can't possibly have a successful wellness offering when you're building in a way that does not honor or respect your land's energy. So, on that thought provoking note, I wish you all a beautiful day ahead now. Take care.